Joe, the Los Angeles Unified School District has decided to ban cell phones all day long on campuses. They say the devices distract students, they lead to anxiety, they allow cyberbullying, and as we've covered this week with a number of our different a couple of different programs this week, we've talked about the effects of cell phones and social media on young people. The Surgeon General says we need to put a warning on all the different social media sites.
More problems than benefits, and I agree with that. And a ban sounds great in theory, doesn't it? Hey, we're just going to get rid of these things, and things will be so much better.
Off the air, Joe and I were just discussing this, and you said, could you be creating more problems than solutions if
Definitely
you were to ban
short-term,
them?
yeah.
Because you think you would have an inmate riot, so to speak.
Yeah, you've got the inmates running the asylum to a degree, and if you take away the television from the inmates, are they going to riot, kick and scream, and do all sorts of things that you don't want?
And now, in this case, it would be you take away the one thing that they've become addicted to, and they're not going to do very well. Would this be a little bit like an inpatient rehab where the first couple of weeks are going to be very difficult, but then once you start to detox, it gets better?
Yeah, I don't think you will see the classic symptoms of what you would see in a riot. I mean, I won't even get into what happens in a prison riot. It's disgusting, some of the things that can go on. But I could see don't look at Pablo for that. No need to look at him. No.
Sometimes Joe will say things, and Pablo and I just look at each other like, where's this coming from?
Just keep going, guys.
Does this guy know from the inside about prison riots?
I know from Netflix.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Very good.
Do you want me to say what happens in riots?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But I can see students screaming, yelling, boycotting, not going to school, or if they're there, just being little hellions.
I don't think it's going to happen in Arizona. I don't think any of
You don't think a ban will happen?
I know a statewide ban won't happen.
Why?
I don't even know that a district ban would happen, although I feel like that would be more likely. A statewide ban, no chance. And I say that because in Arizona, we would turn this political. Instantly, it would become left versus right. And there would be people who would be screaming, you can't do this. First, they would say there isn't really a problem, even if all the stats show otherwise, even if you're looking at studies that show marked improvement for schools that implement a ban, or you've got parents that are frustrated with the kids on the phone. Even the parents that are frustrated with the kids on the phone, they'll still fight being told what they have to do.
Now, you and I agree there is a problem.
I do think there's a problem. Yeah, of course.
Go on.
Not only that, but you're going to have people that'll say, how dare the state step in and take away our individual rights? This is an example of a government gone wild. This is Big Brother telling us all what we can and can't do, and how dare you do that? There will be the arguments over, what if there's a shooting? I need to get a hold of my kid. I have to be able to reach my student. If something's going on, if my child is having trouble and they need to contact me, I need to be able to reach them.
What if there's an emergency?
Sure, emergencies, right? And from the standpoint of would it ever happen statewide, there will be calls to say, let the districts develop their own plans. I could see the state of Arizona saying that all districts must have a digital device plan in place for how to regulate that. I could see that. But as far as banning it statewide, no way. And as far as even having anything that is uniform, my God, we cannot even figure out a basic curriculum in Arizona, let alone how we should behave in classrooms or what those regulations should be. So I don't see that. There is one question, though, before you get to your why, Joe, because I know you took a different tack. Why is it that we can have the South American crime syndicate that is robbing houses in the middle of the daylight along golf courses in Scottsdale? They can use Wi-Fi and cell phone jammers to make sure that people can't call the police when they're robbing their house. Why don't we just put that in the classrooms? Can't we just put a cell phone jammer in all of the classrooms?
Well, doesn't that go back to part of your issue, though, with some people would say it's not a problem, so they would object to it.
Yeah, you can do that.
And then others would sit there and say, what about it during emergencies? If you have a cell phone jammer there, how am I going to reach my precious little princess?
Yeah.
How am I going to reach them? Yeah, I agree.
Same arguments, yeah.
That would work to put a jammer in place, but again, you'd have to get past that first, I'd argue probably week to 2 weeks, where you would have the kids bouncing off the walls.
Yeah, but if they just come into, if I'm a teacher and they come into my classroom and it's like, guys, cell phone signal in my room is terrible. Sorry.
It's not going to work.
It's just not going to work. You got to come to class. Sorry.
But that first week or two, the kids are going to go, they're going to go crazy.
Let me tell you, as somebody who lives in a house, Chateau de Merrill.
It's terrible for cell phones. I get the green message when I try to blow you up half the time.
Right. Yeah. There's no cell phone reception in my place. And it's terrible, Joe. I just hate it. The only time I don't like it
What's your kid think of it?
He's fine with it, yeah.
Okay.
He actually acclimated pretty quickly, and he's got an Android device, which makes it even harder, too, because I can use the Wi-Fi for calling. But I will say this, it is tough if I'm trying to, for instance, make a doctor's appointment or schedule my car for work or something like that. Then it's tough, because then I can't call out.
Or if you need somebody to reach you, too.
Yeah.
Because let's say you've got an appointment coming up or something.
They don't need to reach me.
But if they say they need to reach you to confirm something.
They don't need to confirm anything.
Well, you say that. They want to make sure Chris is showing up, and if they can't reach you, you never know.
Give that appointment to somebody else.
So 3 reasons a band's never coming to Arizona. Number 1, not the kids, it's the parents. Like you touched on, Chris, parents want their kids to have the phone so that they can reach their kid if there's an emergency or just it's convenient for mom or dad. They want to be able to get in touch with the kid. Maybe the kid has something medically up with them. They want the kid to have a phone and have access to them. Parents want it. Number 2, kids are sneaky also. I'm not saying that kids are going to keister phones and do things like that, but okay, again, no need to look at Pablo. But
Pablo, did you catch that?
Yeah. Whether it's the bathroom, in between periods, they're going to find a way to get the cell phone into school. Maybe they bring 2 or 3 phones with them.
That's a big suitcase.
Mm-hmm. The third one is a lack of staff also. We know this is already a problem with Arizona schools. Teachers are in school to teach. How much time are the teachers and the administration willing to spend to hunt for cell phones and deal with enforcement of a ban?
Yeah, all of a sudden the ban becomes as big a distraction as the phone was in the first place.
Great.
Right?
You've got a cell phone ban and you have to spend 25 minutes rounding up the phones or telling the kids to get off the phones and deal with that as opposed to just teaching.
To your last point, very awkward if they've keistered it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Just saying. You go in there looking for that phone? I don't think so.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
There you go.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching The Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.